Hi guys, it's Zion here. Today I'm going to talk to you about depression. This is kind of a follow-up to the video that's around about there if you want to watch that first, if you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I've had a lifelong experience with depression, but I do not want it to define me. On my epitaph, I do not want it to say, "Here lies Zion, he was very sad." I want it to say, "Here lies Zion, he was fucking awesome and he beat depression." So I try and do some things to combat it. Ultimately, depression, there's a nature versus nurture argument to be had. Were you born depressed through some sort of chemical imbalance, or was it a series of events that basically turned you into a depressed person? I think for me, and for a lot of people, I would have thought it is a combination of both. For example, I am clinically depressed in so much as there is a medical problem inside my brain, which means that I don't get quite enough of the juice that it needs to run properly, which causes it to go all fuckery. But what happens when it goes all fuckery is that you get used to thinking in a particular way. And those little neural pathways get stronger and stronger and stronger. And ultimately what you end up doing is you build like a super highway toward depression. So the tiniest little thing can trigger a massive depression. So what I try and do in moments like at the moment, I'm generally pretty damn good. So at times like this, I like to use that opportunity to build a fucking exit ramp so that if it goes on that super highway toward depression, there is a little way out. So I try and build more neural pathways. I try and do that through CBT, through whenever I find myself having an automatic negative thought, I will catch it and I will make myself aware of it. That's what it is with depression. You have to be aware. You have to be super aware. You have to be aware of your thinking and where it's taking you. Because if you're not thinking right anyway, then, well, you're a bit fucked basically. I'm quite an optimistic person, which is probably not that common for somebody that suffers with depression. I do always try and think of the glass half full rather than half empty, and I apply that wherever I can throughout my life. What most people who have depression probably wouldn't like to admit is that they're almost scared to get rid of it. It's become such a lifelong companion and kind of all they know. There's almost a Stockholm syndrome attached to it. It makes you feel special, but in a really fucked up way. Like you have been chosen, you have been bestowed this gift, and it's a gift that you don't want, it's a gift that you are burdened with. And you kind of want everyone to fucking know about it. A lot of people with depression are very fearful. Obviously they're scared of the depression itself, but I'd say they're just as scared to get rid of it. I witness this an awful lot with people that I try and help, where they seem to think that there is no help for them. To those people I say, that is fucking bullshit. There is help for everyone, but you've got to be willing to give it a go. Do you hear that? Willing to give it a go. Don't sit there and think, oh, it definitely won't help me, and then continue with your fucking whining. Here are the rules, right? You can be depressed. You can't help that. But don't fucking whine about it. Do something about it. That's what I've done. I've spent my whole life in this battle, and whenever I feel good and strong enough, then I fucking fight that fucker. And I fight it as hard as I can for as long as I can until I'm worn out into submission and it temporarily beats me again. But I will never ever ever sit there and feel sorry for myself or expect sympathy or seek sympathy, because that just makes you pathetic, and I don't ever want to be pathetic. If you've got a broken leg, he raises his arm yeah, right. If you've got a broken leg, you go to the fucking doctors and you get it fixed. It's exactly the same with if you've got a broken head. You try and do something about it. I understand that if you've had it your whole life, the thought of getting rid of it is actually kind of scary, almost like, oh, I don't think I could live without it, especially if you're a creative person. This is something I struggled with. I thought if I got rid of it, I would no longer be able to write songs, I'd no longer be as creative as I was. And that's just simply not true. If anything, the reverse is true. The more I clear my brain, the more I am able to think straight, the better and more creative I become. I'm also able to teach myself new skills, all the while that I'm feeling good. And even when I'm not feeling good, I will always read things and try and educate myself on things that may help me feel better. And that could be a new way of thinking, a new way of looking at life. Just little things like saying to myself, little things like the smile that you give is the one that you get back. What a wonderful fucking thing to think. Anyway, I'm waffling on. Don't sit there and complain about being depressed. Don't sit there expecting other people to help you. Don't sit there feeling sorry for yourself. Do something about it. That's your lot for today. Give the video a thumbs up. Maybe share it with somebody that you think needs a little toe up the bum. And if you haven't already, subscribe. And I will see you very soon. Ta-ta. There are so many difficult aspects to having a depressive illness. The unpredictability of it. Not being able to pinpoint the cause. Not being able to articulate how you feel, let alone why. The overwhelming feeling of being a burden to those around you.